Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Jai Hind, Namaskar. So, I hope I am properly audible and visible to all of you. Good morning. So, I welcome you all to the editorial session. So, okay. So, thank you everyone for confirming this. Good morning, Jai Hind, and welcome to the session. So, last week we have started this editorial session, and in the last 1 week we have discussed multiple such topics, multiple such editorials. So today also we are going to discuss 3 more editorials of the newspaper today. So let us first go through this question. Last week we were having this one question: critically evaluate the merits and challenges of Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhiniyam. This was in 250 words. So how many of you have written this answer? I am good, Feroz. So how many of you have written this answer? Critically evaluate the merits and challenges of Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhiniyam. Done. Himanshu has written. What about other people? I will write this evening. Why not written in last 2 days? See, you have to practice on daily basis. It's not that you can do answer writing in 1 day or 1 week. You have to do it on a regular basis, on a continuous basis. Then only you will be able to improve your part. So let's see this. It is having critically evaluate the merits and challenges of Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhiniyam. All the question is self-explanatory. Even if it was simply critically evaluate Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhiniyam, then also you have to go for its merit as well as challenges. So this is one part. What you have to do, first of all, in the introduction, you will give a hint, or you will simply mention about this Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhiniyam. Okay. The first thing which you will do is you will you will give a hint about the Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhiniyam. Okay. So this is one of the part which you will do. First part. What will be the second portion? This is very much crucial. What is the second portion? The second portion is you can make a diagram or flow chart where you will mention the provisions of this bill. The provisions of this bill. You can mention about the provisions of this bill, that what are the provisions of this Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhiniyam. That will be the second part, the provisions, which we have discussed in the last session. The third part of the answer will be, you will be evaluating the merits of it. How it is important. Having a specific organization for a standard setting, having another organization, how it is going to be beneficial. One single umbrella, okay, one single window clearance system. So we have got so many merits of this Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhiniyam. You will mention the merits and then you will mention the challenges with respect to this Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhiniyam. Once you have mentioned the fourth part of it, that what is the challenges, the fifth part will again be in form of a flow chart, which will be for the way forward. If whatever challenges you have mentioned, जो भी challenges था उसके corresponding you have to mention the way forward. What can be the way forward for this situation, and then at the end of it, then you have to write the sixth part of answer, that is conclusion. Okay. This is the part of conclusion. Now in the conclusion what you can do, देखो बाकी सारी चीजें तो आपको मालूम ही है कि चलो what is Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhiniyam, provisions, merits, challenges, even way forward. I have that part in the last session. We have seen what can be the way forward also. So we have discussed already all these portions. Now when you have to write the conclusion, so there is your innovation part कि what you write in the conclusion. इस क्वेश्चन में अगर आपको conclusion लिखना है तो क्या लिख सकते हो आप? Now when we talk about this conclusion portion, here you can mention about one of the option is in conclusion you can focus on this aspect that it is part of concurrent list. So its involvement should be from the state as well as national government or union government, or you can mention that there is a need to de-link from just bureaucratic legislation, bureaucratic directions. If what will happen in education system should not be determined solely by the bureaucratic system. We need to evolve a multi-stakeholder approach in reforming our education system. So you can focus either on this concurrent part or multi-stakeholder approach about reform in higher education. So you can mention that part, that we don't need to just push for global ranking, but rather than that creating the locally relevant education system, कि हमारे पास जो education system है that should be locally relevant. So this is the 6th part of this answer. ये 6 part में आंसर लिखना है. So now suppose if you are missing that portion कि हाँ हमसे 250 वर्ड पूरा नहीं हो पा रहा है, if you now look at this option, look at this part, introduction, provision, merit, challenges, flow chart, conclusion, I think you can easily write 250 words for this. What kind of merit you need to see? When it is asking about merit, one of the part of Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhiniyam is it is having a single window clearance system, that now there can be setup of educational institutions by a single window clearance system. You don't have to wait for too long. That is one of the merit. We are going to have a specific institutions just to set the standards of education. So that will bring quality in standard setting. We will have a separate institution for accreditation. So it is going to promote the transparency in that. Okay. Then we are also delinking grants. We are also delinking grants from those institutions who are involved in accreditation or standards. So delinking was also necessary. Earlier UGC was having monopoly. It was having the grant part, it was having the accreditation part, it was also having the standard setting part. So each and everything was done by one institution. So there was a conflict of interest. Now there is a removal of that conflict of interest which you can put here. So in this part you can mention ki what is the merit of this bill. What is the merit of this bill? So this is one part where you can do. See, if you include all the provisions in intro, then introduction will be quite long. Introduction will be quite long. If you are having more than 250 words, so I will suggest you go for these portions. क्या आपने इन सभी चीजों का इस्तेमाल किया है? Flow chart. Have you included that? Have you included that? That you are mentioning the provisions in flow chart, you are mentioning the way forward in flow chart. So even in our classes, we are trying to do this part कि we are trying to write most of the thing in flow charts. अगर आप flow chart में लिखोगे तो words कम हो जाएंगे. And still if it is exceeding 250 words, then try to choose the most important points. Do not write all the points, try to prioritize it, that you have to write the most important ones. Okay. Still if it is exceeding 250 words, try to choose the most important ones. No need to over explain it. So this is the first part. Okay. Now one more thing was there. There was a question from one of you that what should be a strategy for someone who is working 10 to 7. कि आपका work जो है वो 10 to 7 है. From morning 10 to evening 7 you are having work. And I know many of you may be having this one challenge that you are getting little time for study. So even if you are having 10 to 7, then still I will suggest you morning 5 to 8. This is one quality time, 3 hours which you will have. This is one quality time of 3 hours which you are having, and evening, let us say from 9 to 12. Okay. This is another 3 hours which you can have. So in total, you are having 6 hours for your study. Now you will say how I am going to manage all the things. So let me give you one idea. Let's say you are focusing on 2 hours for optional. 2 hours for optional. 2 hours can be given for GS preparation, or say 90 minutes. 90 minutes for GS. You are giving 90 minutes for GS. Then again 90 minutes extra for your mains preparation, mains prep, and around 1 hour per day for practice. On weekends, you can give 2-3 hours for CSAT. So on weekends, you can give 2-3 hours for CSAT. Now, how this mains preparation? You can integrate it with our editorial sessions. That on daily basis, we are having editorial, plus we are discussing the mains relevant part of it. So if you integrate that with your study, then you can continue to focus on the static part of GS, and in these 90 minutes, you can focus on the dynamic part of GS. So if you go to focus on these things for almost 6 months, then your entire mains preparation will be done. अगर आप 6 महीने तक इसको यूज करते हो, तो your mains preparation will be done. You can write just via flowcharts and diagrams also. You can use mix of it also. There is no challenge in it. The only thing is the masses should be clear. It should be adequate. The masses should be clear. It should be adequate. That is the only thing which is required. And yes, there was one question from Anjali ki I have lesser words. So I will suggest you read more about this topic. Like I have given you 6 different parts of the answer. So if you integrate all those 6 parts of the answer, then you can increase your word also. So let's start first with this one thing. We are having this one article. Now this article was in general with respect to Delhi. Like on Monday, we are having lesser articles which are relevant for exam. On Sunday, there is fewer articles which are written by experts. So on Monday, we are having less articles. So we are discussing one thing from last day, that is Sunday. This was one of the news article which was there. Gap between education and jobs for women in Delhi. So this is in general for Delhi, but we are going to address the larger part. Like in general for women, what are the issues? In general for women, what are the issues for this gap between education and employment? So this is our first topic which we are going to see. Now let's look at this. This is related to both GS paper 1 and 2. It is related to women and others. So you can have just one theme. देखो जैसे मैं बोलता हूँ, you can integrate your mains preparation with the editorial session. So what you can do, you can have some blank sheets, loose sheets, and you can make a file of GS paper 1, GS paper 2, GS paper 3. So suppose in GS paper 2, women is one such theme which is recurring in nature. Every once in a week, you will find some articles related to women. तो women पे आप इस editorial session के माध्यम से ही in next 3-4 months you can prepare your entire notes. With respect to polity also, for many topic you can make your entire notes. So make a loose sheet, file for your GS paper 2, GS paper 3. You will find that at the end of 3 months, 4 months, you will have a very much solid and concrete mains material for your GS paper 2 also, GS paper 3 also. Okay. So this is one of the part. Now see, let me give you one part. Just one second. Sorry, I missed the question related to this portion. इससे related question miss हो गया है, but I will add it in the next week. Sorry, in the next session, I will add a question related to this. So here we are having this one thing. The central idea. What is the central idea of this? What is the central idea? That women, they have got higher educational qualification. They have got higher educational qualification. Higher educational qualification. Now it's not a challenge in our cities that women are not having good education. Women have got higher educational qualification also. In many of the universities, in many of the engineering colleges, medical colleges, women are there. Women have got very good educational qualification. They have also been getting good marks also. Skills are also improving. But this one thing is not getting translated. This one thing is not getting translated in form of women employment. So this is not getting translated in form of women employment. This is not getting translated in the form of women employment. So now we are going to evaluate this part, that why it is not happening. What are the reasons behind it? So now we will see this one thing. So one part is the traditional challenge. One part is the traditional challenge. What we see that earlier women were not allowed to work. Okay. Earlier the women were not getting allowed to work. Family members were not agreeing that women should go and work. Okay. Earlier we see that women were not allowed to work. So what is the part here? There is one of the part. Traditionally there was social pressure and family pressure. This one thing is getting diluted now. What we see that family allows, or family is ready to cooperate. Family is ready to cooperate. But still, the family is ready to cooperate, but still we see that they are not ready. They are not in the labor market. Women are not in the labor market. So the question is why? Traditionally, we have seen that women have not been allowed by the family. There has been social pressures that you should not be going out, you should not be working. So this was a traditional thing. Now the society is changing. There is no need of more and more money. But so what is the challenge in the present times? Challenge is there in the form of rigid workplace design. You have to work in a format of 9 to 6 job. Every company is having a 9 to 6 job. They are not having flexible hours. If you are working in a company, you are not being paid on hourly basis. You are being paid for a fixed number of hours. There is a rigid workplace design where people are being paid for 9 to 6 works. If they are delayed, if they are not reaching on time, then their salary would be cut. There will be this attendance issue and all. So what do we see that? There is this rigid workplace design. Plus, at the same time, there is also fragmented transport system. There is also fragmented transport system. We don't have a single transport system. Okay. So this is also one thing. And there is absence of buffer. There is absence of buffer. There is the absence for buffer for everyday disruptions. Like suppose that if a woman is there and she is having kids, a woman is having kids, so there can be health issues, there can be other family issues, Okay. There can be some elderly in the house, may require some more care. So we see that there are a number of challenges which are not getting recognized, but they are existing. They are existing, and most of the time women are bearing the cost of it. So if a kid is having health issues or other issues, if there is an elderly in home and they are having some health issues, so who is there to serve them? Who is there to help them? It comes to women. So again, it's not that the family is not ready to cooperate them to work, but then there are everyday disruptors, and there is no such buffer for it. There is no such buffer for it. It is one of the major challenges. Rigid workplace design, fragmented transport, and absence of buffer for everyday work. It is one of the major challenges for women in the present times. Okay. Then the second part is related to this itself. We can see there is second challenge, a second barrier related to this itself is the care. Okay. The care responsibility. The care responsibility is three times more on women as compared to men. 3x times more on women as compared to men. That there is 3 times more responsibility on women as compared to men. That is one of the major challenges, the second major barrier in case of women empowerment. The third barrier. In major metro cities, it seems that there is a lot of convenience of traveling, but what we have seen that there is, for many of the women who are working in MNCs, okay, let's see this, in metro cities, okay, if we are having women working in MNC, do you know what is the biggest challenge? In case of many of the cities in India, the metro cities in India, the workplace is often very, very far away from the places of residence. जहाँ पे workplace है, वहाँ पे residence नहीं होता. It is so costly that a normal person will not be able to afford it. Near the workplace, getting a residence is too much costly. So they are often far away from the workplace. Okay. So long commute. There is often this long commute hours. Unsafe commute also. Long and unsafe commute. That is one of the major challenges. There is unpredictable schedules. Especially the women who are working in medical sector or MNCs, they are having this unpredictable schedule. Their schedule can change at any point of time. This week they are serving in the daytime. Next time it will be it will be the evening shift. Next time it can be the entire night shift. So there is unpredictable schedules which are also there. Okay, and what we see that late hours at job, late hours at job. So many a times women have to give extra hours at job. This is quite natural at any job. Many a time you may have to work longer, you may have to give more time. But then again, you have to realize this, that they have other responsibilities which cannot change their time. Suppose if they have to bring their child from home while they are returning back from their office, so how they are going to adjust that? How are they going to adjust it? If suppose someone is supposed to come back at 6 p.m. in the evening, they also have to carry their child from any facility, any institution. So how they are supposed to work till 8 p.m.? They have other responsibilities too. So this is also one of the challenge, the late hours at job. This is all pulling the women away from this employment system. Then we have a fourth barrier. A fourth barrier. What is the challenge? Women have got job, they have got money, but there is a lack of financial independence. There is a lack of financial independence. This is one of the other major challenge. In many of the families, women are having a lack of their financial independence. They are not allowed to use their own money in the manner which they want to use it. So what is the benefit of working so much hard, giving so much time, and then having that lack of financial independence? So this is also one of the fourth major barrier. This was as per a study which has been conducted in Delhi NCR region. That in Delhi NCR region, the participation of women in workforce is lower than the national average of 37. Generally, people think that in Delhi, everyone might be working. But actually in Delhi, the number of women who are working, their number is less. They are not employed. So what we see that this is the barrier which we see in case of women. That what is the barrier which we see in the case of women? So what we need, what is the solution? We need to move away from the traditional approach. Still we are writing the same answer. Why women are not getting employment? Lack of education, lack of family support. It was a traditional problem. The things have changed now. So what we need, first thing is we need to have a data on what's happening with women post education. This is what we need. That we need to change our approach. We need to actually evaluate that why women are not working, why women are having lesser participation in job. It's not the lack of education, it's not the lack of family support. There are other challenges which are there. So this is the first part. Second thing is we need to have a mission mode approach, okay, which is bringing government, employers, educational institutions, civil society and citizens. That we need to have a mission mode approach in order to increase this women participation, and it can only happen when there is a multi-stakeholder approach. Then we have to set a clear target for increasing women workforce participation. Like you have made a goal. जैसे आप अपना गोल बनाए हो ना कि हाँ in this week I have to write 12 mains answer at least. I think all of you have made this goal that in this week at least you are going to write 12 mains answer. So in the same manner, every state needs to fix a target that they need to increase the women participation by this much percentage. So we need to have this like a fixed target by each and every state, and each and every state will have different challenges. So one size fit all approach will not be there, will not be sustainable. One size fit all approach is neither desirable. We cannot have one nation, one policy for women empowerment. We need to have different policy keeping in mind the social realities. So this is one of the part, the first topic, what is happening with women, why the women are not getting jobs, or why the women are not working, or lesser number of women working in our workplace. So I think this first article is clear. Any doubt? So देखो, I think you may have got the idea that if you are preparing each and every topic like this, then you will have a concrete material on your mains. तब आपको मेंस के लिए अच्छा मटेरियल मिलेगा. Now we are having the second important topic. This is related to fisheries sector. So we are having this GS paper 3. We are having this economics of animal rearing. This is directly from your syllabus. Economics of animal rearing. It will include the fisheries sector also. इसमें fisheries sector भी शामिल है. Now coming to this one part. Okay. Let me give you a previous year question also, which was there in 2016. Livestock rearing has a big potential for providing non-farm employment and income in rural areas. Discuss suggesting suitable measures to promote this sector in India. So this was a question in 2016 also about livestock. Okay. So from here you can get the idea. Okay. From here you can get the idea that how the questions have been framed with respect to these topics. Now coming to this one topic here, we are talking about the fisheries in India. So let us have a look at some of the data first. पहले कुछ data पे बात करते हैं. India is the second largest fish producer in the world. We are the second largest fish producer in the world. Okay. Also, the second largest globally in aquaculture production. So fisheries plus aquaculture. Aquaculture means where we are going for other things like also. For example, pond related other things. For example, we have makhana also. Makhana will be a part of aquaculture. Then we see that there has been a 106% increase in fish production in the last 10 years. So fish production has almost doubled in the last 10 years. And 75% of it is coming from inland fisheries. Okay. It is coming from inland fisheries. We are still not exploring our maritime areas. We are still not exploring our maritime fishing areas. Majority of the fish production in India has remained inside our ponds or reservoirs. We are having 75% of fisheries production from the inland areas. Still, there is a huge potential of exploiting the maritime sector. So this is one of the fact that what's happening in India with respect to fisheries as of now. ये तो एक पहला पार्ट है कि फिशरीज से रिलेटेड क्या क्या चीजें हैं. Now coming to this one part, okay, like we are coming to this one part that what has led, first of all, the factors behind increase. Factors behind increase. That what factors have been there behind this increase in production. There is a method called as cage culture. Cage culture. So here fisheries are grown within a cage. So here we can control the environment, that it is a cage inside the pond itself. ऐसा नहीं कि it is outside. It is a cage. It is a cage within the pond itself. Within that cage ecosystem, the fisheries are protected. It is a large cage, a large network of fishing nets which are used to create this cage. Within that cage, suitable amount of food is also being provided. Their habitat is also protected from outsiders or any such invasive species. So they are getting protection from invasive species. They are getting proper food, proper environment. Each and everything is there. So a cage environment has been built, and through that cage culture, their production is being increased. Their production is being increased. So this is one thing. Then there has been a focus on quality seeds. A focus on quality seeds. A focus on quality seeds. That these days there has been a focus on quality seeds of the fishes. The Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana is also there. Okay. There has been government support. There have been government support. Okay. Government budgetary support. There has been a government budgetary support through Blue Revolution. So under the Blue Revolution, government has been providing the budgetary support to this. Okay. Then Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana. Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana. Sampada Yojana. This has been working for infra, technology, and quality of seeds. Okay. This has also provided credit facilities and other things. So what we see that there are many such budgetary support which has led to almost doubling of the fisheries production in India in the last 1 decade. There has been doubling of the fisheries production in last 1 decade due to government support also, quality of seeds also, development of infrastructure also. But still, there are certain existing challenges. There are certain challenges which are still existing. Why fisheries in India have not been growing? There has been one of the major challenges, shrinking habitat. Shrinking habitat and pollution of water bodies. Shrinking habitat and pollution of water bodies. This is one of the major factors why the area for fisheries or aquaculture has been declining in India, or why it is not growing at a significant rate. There has also been one thing, there has been the effect of global warming. Global warming, this has led to climate change, and climate change is something which has led to unpredictable. This has led to unpredictable monsoon. This has led to fluctuating level of water. In ponds. There has been fluctuating level of water in ponds. There is a question from if fisheries are grown within a cage, so there is a large number of possibilities of diseases. Yes, of course, there is a chance. But then again, if you are growing it in a cage, so you are aware that there is a rise of disease. You can control it through medicines. But if it is there in the pond, what we see that like if it is being grown in a pond at a large scale, at an entire reservoir, then the medicines will not be effective. So if you are growing it within a cage, it can have better result, can control the disease. If you are growing it on a large scale without any such limited area, then again, what may happen that you are applying the medicines, you are applying everything, but the impact is quite lower. See, Aditya, for editorial sessions, we are having it only in English. तो आप एडिटोरियल सेशन जो हिंदी में होता है उसको देख सकते हो. But we can't check each and every fish. No, it's not that we are checking each and every fish. If there is a rise of disease in the fisheries, what we see that, let's say 5% fish will be affected. So when we are catching the fish from it, there is a chance that some of the fishes which are coming outside of the net, they will show the symptoms, and as per that symptom, there can be application of medicine. In fact, if you see the fish production, if there is a small pond, it is quite easy to detect the disease, because if a fish is suffering from disease, it will die and it will come on the surface. If you see that fish, if you see the disease, you can accordingly prescribe, or you can accordingly use medicines. In morning at 7 a.m., but different faculty. Now, the third part is we have also the lack of credit facilities. We have a lack of credit facilities. Only 15 to 20% farmers, only 15 to 20% get access to formal credit. This is a very risky area. Fisheries is a very risky area, because you may have heard about that proverb: a fish in hand is worth two in the bushes. Okay. A fish in hand is worth two in the bushes. So now, if a fisherman is trying to get a loan for enhancing their fisheries production or others, banks are very much reluctant to give the loans. Why? The fisheries sector can have huge benefit, or it can be a total loss. It is a very risky game. You can have profit margin of 200-300% also sometimes, and at others your investment may be gone also. So fisheries is one sector where if you invest 1 lakh rupees, there is a chance that you get 10 lakh rupees in return, or at least 5 to 6 lakh rupees in return. But sometimes you may not be even able to cover 50,000 rupees out of 1 lakh investment. So this is a highly volatile area. It is a highly risky game, fisheries. But yes, in the recent times, the profit margins have been increasing and it is becoming more sustainable. So this is one of the part. One of the major challenge here is the post-harvest loss. One of the major challenges, the post-harvest loss. Post-harvest loss. We see that for the fisheries, there is a requirement of cold storage facility. There is a requirement of the cold storage facilities. Okay. And this post-harvest loss is up to 20%. Up to 20%. Okay. Up to 20%. Okay. So there is a lack of cold storage. There is a lack of cold storage and supply chains. There is lack of cold storage and supply chain, which may lead to these issues. Okay. So that is also a problem of a post-harvest loss in case of India. Then we see that this is one part which we see in general. In maritime areas, in case of maritime fisheries, we see that there has been overexploitation in certain regions. Like Gulf of Mannar, Parkway. So what we see that there has been this huge exploitation in certain maritime areas. Okay. So that is also one part. Then we see that climate change, this is increasing temperature of sea, and when the sea temperature is rising, what we see that the distribution of fish, it alters the fish distribution. Means suppose that if there is a coastal area of India and the water is becoming warm, the fish is moving from the coastal area of India to other places where it might be colder. If suppose that we are having global warming, the sea water is becoming warm, but in certain areas where there is a little bit lesser warm water, the fishes will be migrating to those areas. So there is a migration of fish also. The redistribution of the fishes is also getting altered. So this is also leading to lesser potential of fisheries in the maritime sector. And so these are certain concepts that what are the existing challenges for fisheries in India. So I hope accordingly you can write some answers. You can write the solution of it. Like suppose if we are having shrinking habitat of pollution in water bodies, what need to be done? Global warming, credit facilities, overexploitation, climate change. So accordingly, you can write the solution also of it. What will be the solution of these problems? We will come to that question later. First, let's discuss the editorial, then we will come to that question. Now, coming to the next part, we have the third topic. It is related to fertilizer policy of India. हमारा जो तीसरा topic है, that is related to fertilizer policy of India. So let us again see this one thing that when we are talking about fertilizers in India, what has been the question related to this? Which part of syllabus it is related to? Okay. It is related to issues related to direct and indirect farm subsidies. हमारे यहाँ agriculture में farm subsidies are very high. We are having very high subsidies. It is causing a national as well as international challenge for us. International challenge in form of WTO rules, a national challenge in form of overuse of fertilizers, environmental challenges and others. So we are going to look into this. There has been a question like this. Somehow the questions have been mismatched. Okay. Questions का थोड़ा mismatching हो गया है. So I will show you question last day. I think some issue may have been there. I have pasted a question related to this irrigation and subsidy, but somehow women question has come here. Women से related question यहाँ आ गया. Agriculture वाला कहीं और चला गया. So this was the question related to women, that globalization has increased urban migration by skilled young unmarried women from various classes. How has this trend impacted their personal freedom and relationship with family? This was one question which is related to your women related part. ठीक है, इसको मैं women वाले के साथ ऐड कर दे रहा हूँ. This is related to women. Now you can see that part. It is related to women. Fertilizers related, I will show you the question tomorrow. So here, this is related to GS paper 3, issues related to direct and indirect farm subsidies. So now let us talk about the background of it. इसके background के बारे में discuss करेंगे. हाँ, neem coated urea got subsidy. Yes, tough day. I don't know how this happens. Like there may be some issue in saving the file. I will have to be more careful. Generally, there is a morning effect. Morning का अपना एक effect होता है. That in morning, if you are not properly woke up, so then there is a challenge. Like last night, I slept around 2 a.m. and in the morning, I wake up around 5 a.m. So only 3 hours of sleep. That's why it may have got impacted. Question यहाँ का वहाँ चला गया, यहाँ का गायब हो गया. So let's see this. The background of it. If we look at this, India's import dependence for chemical fertilizer is at 70%. Like almost Not every day, not every day. Generally, I get 5 to 6 hours of sleep. But last day, it was somewhat late. So what we see that we are importing around 70% of our fertilizers. We are importing around 70% of our fertilizers. What we see, around 40 million tons of urea is being consumed by India, out of which 10 metric ton or million ton, this is being imported, means 25% in case of urea. Overall 70%. In case of urea, it is 25%. But even the urea which is being produced at home, we have a dependency on imported gas almost 85%. For production of urea at domestic level, we are dependent on gas, and that is up to 85%. So what we see that even the urea which is being produced at home, that is also coming or that is also on the basis of imported gas. So that is a challenge. Okay. And see the subsidy on agriculture or urea. Okay. What we see that the cost, okay, the cost of urea is around 795 per ton. This is the cost of urea. This is the cost of urea in global market. This is the cost of urea in the global market, $795 per ton. Can you guess how much is the cost in India? In the global market, the cost of urea is 795 ton. Can you guess that at what cost it is being made available to farmers in India? If we talk about the farmers' cost, how much they are paying in India? How much it costs for farmers in India? What is the cost of this urea for farmers in India? If we talk about per ton, it is just around 70. It is just around 70 per ton. So $795 per ton, this is the actual cost in the global market. But in case of India, it is being sold at just a price of $70 per ton. It means more than 725 rupees. Sorry, what we see that the subsidy here is 725 per ton. It is 725 per ton. It means the subsidy on urea is more than 90%. The subsidy on urea is more than 90%. That is the amount of subsidy which is being provided on urea. Okay. So what we see, we are providing huge amount of subsidy. Now, what is the issue? Like, what is the issue? Okay. Government says that a farmer needs 2 bags of urea, but he is taking 4 bags. Government is saying that the farmers are overusing. There is an abuse of fertilizers. That if the farmers need 2 bags, they are taking 4 bags. So the government is aware about this, that there is something called as overuse of urea, or rather we can say abuse of urea in case of India. Why this abuse is there? Low cost. There is a low cost availability of urea in India. So that's why there is an excessive use of urea. So either there is also a significant diversion of urea for non-agriculture use, or some of it is even being exported or smuggled to the neighboring countries. So either the farmers are using too much urea, or some urea is being diverted for non-agricultural purposes, and some urea is being exported to the neighboring countries. So our subsidy is going to the neighboring nations. The subsidized urea from India is going to the neighboring nations. So this is one of the challenge. This is one of the challenge with respect to urea. Now the second part of it, like we have already seen the subsidy section. Second part is the urea which we are using. This is having a nutrient use efficiency of just 35 to 40%. It is having a efficiency of just around 35 to 40%. Why? The urea, this is being used in granular form. It is being used in granular form. We see that there is a less absorption. There is a less absorption by plants, and this is lost to atmosphere. This is something which is lost to atmosphere in form of greenhouse gas. So plants are not able to consume more than 40% of the nitrogen which is being applied to the farms. So what we see that our urea which we are using, which we are subsidizing, it is going to waste. So in fact, you can say that we are having a subsidy. We are having a subsidy on emission of greenhouse gas. That we are subsidizing the emission of the greenhouse gas. We are in fact subsidizing the emission of the greenhouse gas. We are in fact promoting it. So that is also one of the challenge. Then we see that like it is going in form of nitrous oxide, which is 273 times more potent than carbon dioxide. Or it is also going into groundwater and increasing the nitrate content, which is leading to blue baby syndrome. Okay. So we are having a release in the atmosphere. We are having the release of nitrous oxide, which is 273 times more potent than the carbon dioxide. Or we are having its leaching into the ground, which is leading to excessive nitrate contamination, and it is leading to the problem of blue baby syndrome. So this is one of the challenge which we see in using urea. And the liquid urea, it is not being subsidized. Liquid urea पे subsidy नहीं है. Liquid urea could have a 90% efficiency. It can have a 90% efficiency. The liquid urea, it can have 90%. This can have 90% efficiency. But then again, we are no subsidy on this. There is no subsidy on this liquid urea. Why? Because the farmers are using the granule urea for decades, and we are not ready to train them. We are not ready to divert them towards using the liquid urea. So this is one of the challenge which we see here. Now also at the same time, what are the proposals that what can be done? What can be done? There can be a direct benefit transfer like PM Kisan. But yes, while we are having a direct benefit transfer like PM Kisan, the subsidy amount can be going directly to the farmers, but there is a challenge there also. The benefit to the tenant farmers, those who are not having the land, those who are just cultivating on it, it may be compromised. So we need to find a solution for this. We need to find the actual cultivators. We need to find the actual cultivators. And these actual cultivators can be provided the direct benefit transfer. we need to find that who are the actual cultivators of the fertilizer, who are the actual cultivators of fertilizer, and then they need to be provided, the subsidy for this one. So that is also one part. Second thing which we see, that reforming other fertilizers, like we are having a diammonium phosphate, we are also providing DAP, and even DAP consists of 18% nitrogen. So what is being suggested, that need to increase the phosphorus rather than the nitrogen. So we are already subsidizing urea. Urea is already being provided. So why we are having urea again in DAP? We need to increase the content of phosphorus, not the nitrogen. So we need to reform other fertilizers also. That if we are already providing urea in the form of a subsidized urea, then there is no such need to add urea to DAP also. So we need to reform our other fertilizers also, so that too much urea which is going into our field is tackled. जो हम यूरिया दे रहे हैं, एक्सेसिव यूरिया दे रहे हैं, एक्सेसिव नाइट्रोजन दे रहे हैं, we need to address that. So this is one of the suggestion which has been provided here. Okay. So I think this one part is clear. Ki what is the issue of fertilizer in India? There is a subsidy which we have seen. We have also seen that how it is impacting our farmers, how it is impacting our agriculture. Then we have seen that what can be the way forward also in this scenario. So this is one of the part where you can practice these two questions. Discuss the emerging barriers of women participation in labor force. Suggest measures to address the same. There is a need to revisit India's fertilizer policy. It is required for environment, agriculture and economy. Comment. So these are the two questions which you have to practice. Natural farming and organic farming does not produce enough to complete India's need. Yes, that is one challenge. So we cannot directly shift to them. Okay. What other questions were there? एक बार क्वेश्चंस देख लूं और क्या क्या क्वेश्चंस थे आपके. इकोनॉमी तो बोला है सर आपने. इकोनॉमी, इट इज इम्पैक्टिंग एनवायरमेंट ऑल्सो, इट इज इम्पैक्टिंग. If we are providing, tell me one thing, if we are importing, is there impact on our forex reserve? Is there impact on our balance of payment? Is there impact of subsidy? जो सब्सिडी में हमने जो पैसा गवाया, can it be used for other purposes? The amount of money which we are spending on subsidy, can it be used for other purposes? So देखो, this is what you have to do in answer writing. Sir, if session is over, please address my issue. हाँ, आपका issue क्या है बताएं. What is your issue? Not most necessary to become Atmanirbhar in these sectors. Yes, fertilizer is once a sector. No, not cold, not suffering from cold. Somewhat in the morning sometimes. What was your question? Sir, I am facing issue in test while solving PYQ of different subjects. I am able to score around 75 out of 100 question, but this dropped to 14 tests conducted by institute, making me underconfident. देखो, there is one part which I have explained you many a times. When you are solving PYQs and when you are solving test paper, there is a difference. In PYQs, if there are 100 questions, out of that 10 questions will be out of box, 10 questions will be quite difficult, and some other moderates. So in PYQs, you will not be facing that much challenge. In the test papers, generally the amount of out of box question or difficult question increases. So even if you are having a lesser, if you are able to solve even 40 to 50 question in test paper, be assured that if you have a consistency of 40 to 50 question in test papers, you will be doing much more better. You will be doing much more better in the actual prelims exam. So test papers are not to be blamed. Actually, they are preparing you for the worst. Preparing you for the worst and hope for the best. That is the strategy of test paper. तब कहीं भी टेस्ट पेपर दो, that is the strategy. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best. So if you are able to score more than 40 to 50% of questions, if you are able to solve more than 40 to 50% of questions, then be assured in the actual exam you will be doing more than that. So don't get demotivated by that. There are different benchmarks for mock test questions and UPSC questions. So you have to set the parameters accordingly. You have to set the parameters accordingly. That for PYQ, but for PYQ, you have to set the parameters at 40 to 50. For UPSC, you will generally get a better score. Also, there are many topics which feels like they are new and I feel nervous, making me always mug up new things, adding weight to resources. I have always said this one part. If you find any new thing in test series which you have not read in the last 1.5 years, then it is not necessary. As simple as that. There is one simple rule. If you find a new concept in test paper which you have not gone through the last 1.5 years, then probably that topic is not so important. Even if you have read from any book, any material, any institute, do remember this one thing. The 90% of the most important syllabus has been done. Less than 10% may be remaining. So if you have prepared 90%, don't worry about the remaining 10%. The question is not going to be exclusively from that 10%. In any case, you will always be able to get more than 70 to 80 questions. UPSC exam की खास बात ये होती है कि you know questions, you know the topic. The problem is you are not able to solve it either because of too much confusion, lack of revision, or silly mistakes. UPSC is not trapping you in unknown question. UPSC कभी भी आपको unknown questions में trap नहीं करता. They give you the questions which you have read, which you have studied, and try to create confusion over there. वहाँ पे आपके लिए confusion create करता है. So if you are dedicated to your subject, your syllabus, then you will be able to solve it. Okay. So thank you everyone. Write these two answers. ये दोनों answers लिखे and do tell me in the comment box. Okay, last week, how many answers you have written. So there is one task for you all. After the session is over, then in the comment box later, you can mention how many questions you have written in the last 1 week. Plus also at the same time, you have to mention, is there any challenge, a specific challenge which you are facing in answer writing? So that I can try to answer your concerns in the next class. Hey, it's not necessary to read each and every line. You can understand the concept also. In polity, you will need to read each and every line. So just rely on that. You will find the answers in the exam. So thank you everyone. Take care and all the best. Thank you.